I literally just made this same pretty much exact video a couple hours ago on my other channel, the DC Life, about how the Flashpoint movie will be having a whole bunch of crazy cameos like Nicolas Cage's Superman, like Christian Bale's Batman, like Tom Welling's Smallville Clark Kent, Grant Gustin's The Flash. So a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Definitely go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. I'll actually link it down in the description below to make it easier. So definitely go check that out. But now today, or really a couple hours later, we're talking about the same thing but on the Marvel side of things with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which actually only comes out a couple months before the Flash movie. And funny enough, like, this is literally coming from the same exact source that brought us the news about the Flash movie that I talked about in that video. So he definitely knows his stuff. So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is definitely going to be a crazy, big, huge movie. Even though it's like a Doctor Strange movie, it's probably going to be kind of like a Captain America Civil War, where it's like you got all the Avengers and a whole bunch of other Marvel characters in there. It's just not officially called an Avengers movie. So we're going to get a whole bunch of crazy characters in here and a whole bunch of crazy cameos. And now one of them has actually been revealed to us by Daniel RPK, who has brought us so much information in the past and has been correct about pretty much everything. So it got a little cut off here at the top. But he says, I heard they are considering a bunch of interesting cameos for Strange to play different versions of characters we know. One example I heard of they are considering is Tom Cruise as Tony Stark from Another Earth. At one point, Cruise almost got the role of Stark before RDJ. So, that is interesting. Whereas DC, in their Flash movie, is going for the standard approach, and their cameos are going to be actors and characters from past DC projects, Marvel is going for the past, but what could have been, kinda. With this first one of Tom Cruise playing an alternate version of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, which is really cool. First of all, it's just cool to be seeing Iron Man again, and with it not being Robert Downey Jr. is definitely going to be weird, but also interesting, and also actually pretty funny, honestly, because like Daniel RPK said, Tom Cruise almost got the role of Tony Stark before they brought in Robert Downey Jr. So we're going to get a whole bunch of crazy cameos like this, seeing alternate versions of characters from the MCU. So we're going to see some played by the same actors that already play them in the MCU, but we're also going to see ones like this. And it'd be cool to see some other ones like this where actors that almost got a role in the MCU but didn't appear here playing that character, like maybe Joaquin Phoenix playing Doctor Strange, or John Krasinski as Captain America, Emily Blunt as Black Widow. Tom Hiddleston almost played Thor, so that'd be really, really funny if he showed up as Thor. And the best part is that these are alternate versions of characters from alternate Earths within the multiverse. So even if you have like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt in there, that doesn't mean they can't still be Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, because those are alternate Earth, so you can still use those actors for future MCU projects, and I just think this is really, really cool. It's definitely a unique strategy here compared to what they're doing with DC, although it does make a lot of sense, because whereas DC has like had so many TV series and so many movies before this current iteration that they're going with their DC cinematic universe to pick from with cameos and stuff like that, Marvel doesn't have that. Like, really, like, they got the Fox X-Men films, and they got the Sony Spider-Man films, and Blade and stuff like that, and Daredevil movies and stuff like that. So they got a couple things to pick from there, but not really as much as DC has. So they had to come up with something else to still get those crazy cameos in there. And I think this is just such a good idea, because then you can still get that, but then it's even cooler, especially if you know the fact that, like, Tom Cruise was originally going to play Iron Man. And I just think this is such a really cool idea, because we've seen these characters, but it'll be interesting to see these different versions of the characters, see what makes them different, and see how these actors would have played these characters if they got the part. So I just think this is an absolutely amazing idea, although just like with what I talked about in my Flash video, with this information from Daniel RPK, these are just ideas that Marvel Studios has, and this isn't necessarily something that is set in stone. Like, they haven't already approached Tom Cruise about returning. Like, maybe they have, but these are more just ideas like, hey, we could do this, and we can start approaching these actors sometime soon. So nothing's set in stone, but just hearing that they have these ideas is really, really cool. So let me know down in the comments below, guys, what do you think about this? Are you excited to be seeing Tom Cruise as Tony Stark Iron Man in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? And what other characters would you like to be seeing get this treatment as well? So thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit that subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.